can
This
see
conference will now be recorded.
you can see all the
Okay,
numbers
so
for
we're
every
here.
other school.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay,
All right,
be
so
careful.
recording is on.
Careful what you say now. We're recording. Shh.
No cursing.
Okay, let me share my screen, and we're gonna go through Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, she teaches over at Pine Forest. So here's why I'm hesitant to say, yeah, go buy the CompTIA test prep. So Elizabeth is at Pine Forest. Her counterpart is at University over in Volusia County. The teacher at University, she had like a 20% pass rate. She's just like beside herself. I don't know what's going on. This was one of her early test takers before we really fully knew what was going on. I am recording this, but I'm going to be careful to you don't ever say this. The teacher at University that hit with 20%, I don't think she's as good a teacher as Elizabeth that we're looking at now. Elizabeth came back in, only 6% of her students passed. So we went from 20%, which we thought was horrible, to 6%. And Elizabeth only used the CompTIA test prep questions. And here's the crazy thing, is the CompTIA test prep questions hadn't been updated either to reflect the exam. So yeah, you can go buy the CompTIA test prep, but I'm going to say you might be wasting your money there because if they haven't updated, then to their own exam. So anyway, so let's jump in here, IT fundamentals. And like you said, Mingo, we're going to take a look at the chapter with the CompTIA Appendix B here.
Right.
Okay, so we can go through. So once again, I would still have them go through some of this, how to take the exam facts, hints and tips. Definitely spend some time going through section B.1. And then what we're going to see here is domain reviews. And you may want to break this up into, okay, here's our next 6 days in class. We're going to take 20 questions and we're going to go through it. This is 20 questions at a time, and let's figure out where we're missing, where we're hitting. There's a report in here that you can
So when I went to a boot camp, Travis, for A+ years ago, they did the same thing, right? For like, it was a 2-week boot camp, so they're going at a quick rate. But we went through chapters, through sections, blah blah blah. Then when it came to this time to where you want to review, they would bring up questions, right? And that's how we hammered. And then those instructors, they picked up, right? They did this so long, they would know you're ready, you're not ready, just by class participation, just by jumping on and knowing the CPU temperature, blah blah blah. And that's what I want to get for my kids, right? So I want to know that. I want to know like that I'm doing okay progressing by hearing them. But I also want those pre-tests. We didn't know if we can go and take the pre-tests. You know what I mean? Like I thought we could take 2 pre-tests. Right.
So what you may want to do is just create a custom exam with multiple choice questions in there and give them your own pre-test, and then you can view the report. Also, if you come in here, certification practice exam scores. This was a report I didn't even know we had in here, but we do. So if we come in here and we run this report, this is where all your reports are. And we look at IT Fundamentals Pro, and we're going to look at the CompTIA practice exam material. Here we're going to see, as they come in here and go through the practice exam material, how and where they're scoring. They should be at a 90% before they go sit in this. So you got, Nicole, you already have some kind of like metric you use before they can go sit, right? It's like 80% with your DIT classes and certified.
Yeah, we say 80%, but Mingo, because some of the tests are at 80 would be fine. If you want to make them score a 90%, that's up to you, but it can't be less than an 80.
Yeah, I would. Okay. Yeah, they're not even touching that exam if they're scoring below an 80. If they're getting
and I brought up to their attention the same thing with CompTIA A+, is they almost recommended an 85 solid 2 or 3 times. And you always want to be above 85. That's like the lowest bench. That's like failure at that point, right? So, I make an 85 failure, right? Like you're not going to really make it. Do you know what I mean?
And the reason why I'm saying 90 is because the questions, not all the questions are to the level they need to be. So we're going to adapt in April 29th. You may be able to bump that down to like an 85%, right? But I'm going to say right now with the level of questions, you should be hitting a 90. So this is what I did with Elizabeth's data, because she told me she had 4 kids that passed. I said, let me pull his data. I went and I got rid of anybody that didn't hit above an 85%. And then I was down to like 10 kids. And then I went back in to see who had attempted what and see who was hitting that 90% benchmark. And I was able to guess 3 of the 4 students that passed. So once again, you got to figure out, hey, these kids are ready and these kids aren't. I was wrong on one of them, and she's like, yeah, I don't know why he didn't pass either. And we're going to run into some of that, right? They didn't eat breakfast. They were concerned about, they broke up with their girlfriend between 3rd and 4th period. Who knows, right?
They're sleeping.
It could have been a girl, and she could have broken up with her boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it goes 2 ways. Goes
Yeah.
both
You're
ways.
just assuming that they're boys.
Yeah, I totally did. And let's be perfectly honest, it could have been a girl and she could have broken up with her girlfriend earlier in the day. I
That's
don't know.
correct.
The situation could be all over the place. So
They weren't
I'm gonna
focused.
say you should be able to. So what I did is I exported this out into an Excel spreadsheet, and I quickly could see. Now she's got one kid in here. He has, oh, this is a kid, Jacob McIntyre, 27 attempts on that exam. But if we look at his historical record here, 87, 83, 90, 89, 91, he finally gets to the point where he's passing 100, 96, 93. So he's hitting in this mark. But I'm thinking he's at this point just memorized all of our questions, right? So 27 attempts. I don't think this kid passed. So I think he was one of them that I might have got wrong. Is this helpful, by the way?
Right. I'll learn how to get that report easy.
Yeah.
So
Here, let
again,
me
my
walk
question
you
is,
through. Let me show you.
yeah, I want to know
where-
how they even took the test, right? Like, where did they go to take the
okay.
test?
So let's go back here. So I'm on my school. I'm just going to scroll
Okay.
down to the class I want to view. The little menu button over here on the right with the 3 dots. You click on this.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then it's under View Class Reports.
Okay.
And then the one we want to do is the
see
certification
it.
practice exam scores. And then you do
I'm
want
loving
to
these
isolate.
reports, by the way. Yeah,
Good.
I love them.
And then you do want to isolate. So the practice exam, you just want to show the CompTIA scores. Once again, ours are going to be all labs. Yeah, we're done with labs. That was fun this year. I need you to
Woo-hoo!
pass 75 multiple choice questions. Right.
That's awesome.
And
That's
so
awesome.
that's
Okay,
that's
so
that.
how do we get the kid to take a practice exam, a CompTIA
Yeah.
practice exam? How do we do that?
So let's log in as a student here, and so
Okay.
I can show you what the student view looks like.
And I'm following you. I have another screen. I'm clicking away on.
Perfect. Yeah, I need you to have a high pass rate, Mingo. I need you to.
I'm so motivated. You understand?
been-
Like, this is freaking me out.
It's all on you, Mingo. No pressure.
all on
Travis
you.
is
The
giving you
whole
all the
nation.
inside. His job
well,
next
he's as
year
hyper
depends
as
on
I am.
it.
My job actually, Jake's job hangs in the balance.
I know how to cut grass. I'm good.
Okay, so if I'm logged in as a student, I click on the chapter view, and I'm going to come down here to the CompTIA practice exam.
Okay, I see
Now
that.
we can come in here and let's see. So it's this right here, CompTIA Fundamentals Practice Certification Exam. So B4,
Okay.
where we're going to launch this exam. Now notice it's 75 questions. It's 1 hour, just like the certification
one.
exam. So once again, you need to drill
That's
it.
awesome.
You got 75 multiple choice questions. You got 1 hour to do it. Let's start figuring out pacing. Let's start figuring out best practices, how to eliminate questions. I mean, a lot of this is test taking skills, right? I mean, I've got my oldest son is a horrible test taker. My daughter kills it. And my daughter was telling my son about, how he did on the ACT and he's ticked off. And I'm like, dude, you're a crappy test taker. Welcome to my world. I mean, that's just me. It's not because your sister's a whole lot smarter than you, because most of the cases I would argue the other way around, but she's a way better test
I'm with
taker.
you.
So
I lose all my spit. Like, I have a hard time.
so
Okay, so
I would
I go to CompTIA B4, right? That's the
B4,
B4
yeah.
one. B.4.
B4.
And then they could take this. I saw the one kid 20 times. It don't matter.
right. So here's what you do day one. Go in and take it. Say, hey, this is what we're doing today. We got an hour. Set a baseline for them. Set a baseline, and let's then figure out, okay, let's go. And over the summer months, we're looking at adding in some analytic tools in here to get a little bit more deep dive into concepts that they're missing from. I've already seen some prototypes of what this looks like. It'll be fabulous. So,
Okay, so I got class every day. Like I said, I want to knock this out in a month. You're saying you're recommending don't start with B1 and start reading. You're saying in this next class, take the whole hour to let them
Take-
take the exam and see
Take the
people get
whole
like
hour.
12.
Let's see where we're
I
hitting
gotcha.
and where they're missing. I can tell you right
Oh, I
now.
can't wait. That's gonna hurt them. I love it. Phones down and let's rock.
Phones down. You got an hour. Let's do this.
I love it.
Programming in databases, they're going to struggle with more than the other.
Oh, I'm gonna struggle. That and if and or horrible.
Yeah.
But doable.
They're gonna struggle with that. And then what you may want to do is come back in here and let's do a domain a day. Do a domain a day. Let's go through 20
Mhm.
questions, and then we're going to go back in and review these. And so that puts us. We got 1 day here. We've got 6 days here. So we're halfway. So we've bought off. Let's see, end of next week. And then maybe you repeat the thing till the 29th. And then when we have our new test come out on the 29th, you'd be one of the first to take it. Schedule it on the 29th. We're going to go in and take
And it'll
version
it'll
2.
be right there in the B4. It ain't gonna
Yeah,
say
it'll be
new
like
or old.
B4.2 or something. Yeah.
Okay,
say,
so
okay.
look for it.
And you can tell them, you're like, I'm stepping the game up. I've thrown softballs at you. Here comes the fastball. Right. So
That's awesome.
and then we're gonna do the same thing for the next week. We're gonna loop back around. Yes, Nicole.
So the B4 has 75 questions. Is it out of a test bank of more questions, and then the new questions that are coming, you said like 400 to 500 more?
Yes.
So each time you take it, you'll have different questions?
Yes. Yep.
That makes it better for you, Mingo, then, so that kid who took it 27 times is going to see different questions every time they take it, so they won't have a chance to memorize it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. Right. We don't want just upload, download. What I want them to do is in class, once they take it, we want to discuss it, right? Like why
Right.
that? Why this? And that's how it was in that boot camp. It wasn't just, hey, upload, download. It was more like you failed that. Why? Well, I thought it was this. This should be that. And it was awesome. I took that as an awesomeness, but we're adults, right? And that's what I told them. I'm in a room with adults that wanted it. Here we are, you over there sleeping. That person's on the phone. You know what I mean? The people that want to cert need to focus on what I'm trying to teach. The people
Right.
that just want to take a final and move on with their lives, I'm gonna let them get on that phone because I really need to put, you know what I mean, the
Yeah.
eyes on the prize. And I'm being honest with my babies, right? Take an A and go on your way. Take
Yeah.
a paper and get a job. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm selling it. I'm selling it.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to remember. Let's see if I score the exam. I'm trying to see and remember if this practice exam. I'm trying to remember what
It
the
felt so embarrassing today, man. Everything I hit was a lab. I was freaking out because I assumed they would go right into questions.
Yeah.
And I
No
started
lab.
almost laughed out loud. Like, I should have prepared for this. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It was so embarrassing. So I was like, okay, cut.
Yeah.
Let's go to open lab.
Okay, so this does show. Okay, so they can go back through each objective.
I like
Okay,
that.
I got this one wrong. Here's the
That's
explanation.
what I want.
And
That's what I
notice, we put these hyperlinks in here. Oh, I didn't realize these were in here already. Look, they can then hyperlink right to the video lesson,
Right to the
text
lesson.
and say you
That's
got.
awesome. You guys got my business.
Yeah, this is another part of our.
I like it.
Address some of that.
Okay.
So
You got a great
Okay.
team, man. Keep making it better and better and better. These
Well-
kids are gonna be rich when they graduate.
we're having to pivot and adjust just to accommodate the changes. I mean, and plus Nicole is like all over me, like I got to have a better pass rate. If you want to sell more tests out in this district, Travis, you got to.
Yeah.
You got to.
My principal said-
show me the
My
pass.
principal said my whole job's on the line. That's why I'm starting to cut grass. I'm gonna make sure I can trim right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. No, I love this. Notice, so look, I can then watch the video right here, and then I
I
can
love it.
close it
Thank you.
out, and I can go right
That looks
back
awesome.
to. Yeah, I'll get feedback. I'm glad this was.
I should have went right to that today. I looked a little crazy in that other one, man. I was like, I gotta call them. I saw those labs. I was like, yeah, we're not gonna do this today. All right,
You know
but one more big question. So we covered my study guide and study questions coming April 29th. You cleared up an awesome question about taking the test and how many times they should take it, and that would be the part B. Now,
Yeah.
one fourth question that I had, and I know I touched base with Nicole, it's those accommodations, right?
Oh,
When we go to take these tests, is there in test out a way to know that that student has an accommodation? How do I work that?
yeah. So let me go back to, I've jumped in here as a student.
I got you, like monolingual. Like, it ain't gotta be an ESE thing. It could be just a monolingual. Do they get a half hour more, or do you know what I mean?
So within test out, yeah, you can set that. So let me come in here.
Oh, cool.
And once again, I'm in here as a student. It's Libby Diamond here, and so I've got Anthony right here. I just click on his name on my student list, and
Okay.
I'm going to come to user settings. Is that where it is? And then click on this. User is eligible for extension, time extension.
Oh,
I'm going to adjust that.
and how do I find that extension? How do I know what the law wants for that student? Is that something you could help me with, Nicole, or is that like an ESE question? What? How do I find out that
That's an
accommodation?
ESE question. Usually they get double time. But that's for test out. What he's allowing you,
Yeah.
you probably have to apply to
This is
CompTIA.
just on test out. When it gets to the CompTIA exam, you're going to have to alert them to the, hey, they need to be offered extended time.
I'm gonna call somebody in support over there.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
Good luck
Just
with
Google CompTIA test accommodations.
that. Oh, good idea.
Right, and you sent me that
I-
link, but I think I got to call and fill out a form and everything. I mean, it's like official.
You may.
Yeah.
I don't
Just-
know about IT
And
fundamentals.
typically the student's
Okay.
responsible and their parent are responsible for submitting that paperwork. Typically, it's not you.
Oh, that's right. It did say all this info I won't know.
That,
Okay.
yeah, at least here in Utah. So if you have a 504 written into your educational plan, the student.
That's what it is. A
has to
504.
And
But I'll definitely try to get one of those CompTIA, tech specialists to answer the phone or whatever, and I'll just ask. And they deal with it all
I'm
day. They'll
sending you a
know real
link
quick.
right now.
I know, because that link you sent me though, and I did open it the last time, but send it again. It was weird. It was like a form that has to be filled out, but I wouldn't get that information. Like, you know what I mean? We don't have access to all that.
The student, because CompTIA is not meant for high schoolers, it's an industry cert. So it's
Oh.
adults out in the real world. So no one's submitting this form for them. Your student and their parent will have to do this, not you.
right.
But I like it because I'm telling you, my monolingual students, and I know Travis, you can see all of our scores and all that, right?
Yeah.
I got a couple monolingual kids that are taking their test over and over and putting it in English, and they're doing well. I mean,
Awesome.
you know what I mean? Their language barrier is not stopping them from doing the work.
Yeah.
And I just want them to have more time. You know what I mean? It'd be great if I could get that.
Right. Hey, here's another tip that and this is feedback from lots of other schools taking it. Vocabulary and acronyms. Spend a day on vocabulary and acronyms.
Like that glossary, right at the end?
Yes,
Is that
and
what-
not only that, is your school or district block Quizlet?
No, I have Quizlet. I even paid for
Okay.
my version of it.
Oh,
Right, right.
okay. On Quizlet, I know there's some other teachers that have created just some flashcards. We're looking at building that into the program so you wouldn't have to go outside it. But
Awesome.
go to Quizlet, have them go to Quizlet, work on some of those flashcards, acronyms and meaning and just definitions. Because they need to know those really well, because when they're reading through the question, if they know the definitions and acronyms really well,
Right.
they're like, oh, that one doesn't apply, and we can eliminate that answer. Once again, it goes back to the test taking strategies. If the vocabulary and the acronym acknowledgement is there, we can easily.
Okay. I'm writing that down. That's awesome.
I always hate to point people to other resources, but it's true.
Acronyms and vocabulary.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and I got Quizlet. I paid for like that $4, whatever it was a month. I did it. It's awesome.
Nice. Some districts don't let their kids have access to it. Well, create accounts because of privacy.
Yeah, I know some of them had. No, this is hilarious. So I tell them join my Quizlet class, and
Yeah.
I get people like I love tacos on there, and I'm like, hey, who's I love tacos? And they raise their hand. It was Cook. I'm like, hey, Cook, why didn't you just put Cook? Do you see what I'm saying? So, and then it only lets them change their name twice. So I think I ended up with some freaky names, even because they had already attempted to change it.
And then
They don't get a third attempt, right? Oh, it's horrible, man. I mean, I have it here in my book. It's hilarious, some of the names. So
That's
there's got to be a better way. Yeah, there's got to be a better way.
Well, I mean, those are some of my tips and tricks, and hopefully that helps.
I love it.
So just to kind of recap, I'm going to go take the test, the pre-test tomorrow, set a baseline, start working back through each of the domains, start with a 20-question quiz, have them go back through, use the report at the end to see where they're missing. They can also see the objective on the test where it's being covered, have them work back through it, go back through the video lessons, text lessons. Do not touch another video or lab, as cool as they are, for the rest of the year.
Okay.
I know that sounds backwards with test out, but don't touch another lab. And then
No, I got you. At this point, we know that we should be at a boot camp level, understand these questions, understand these acronyms and vocabulary. Because if you want to cert, you got 75 questions, so you need to get there, right?
yeah. And once you get back through the domains, you go through those 6 domains where the practice stuff is, have them take the pretest again, or the CompTIA practice exam again. And then you might have another day or two of review, and then it'll be the 29th. Have them go through, okay, it's time, it's go time. We're stepping the questions up. I need you to, we're going to work on these levels.
So I got a section B1, B2, B3, B4. B4 is the beautiful test, and we start on that immediately. And then you're saying that at least 2 of these every class period? Because I could see one class 3 times a week.
Oh, yeah, because you got 90-minute classes, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to hit 2. Sorry, I was thinking like a 45-minute class.
So I'm thinking maybe 2 when we go back to like knock them out, and then 2, and then the other class can do the 2, 2, 2. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I'm going to see one class 3 times in one week and 2 in the other week, but I'll knock it out. I'll do it over and over. The whole purpose here is to go over and over.
Right.
But I don't want I didn't instill in them cheating. I said we have to look at these questions. They are part of this exam. And we're going to not upload and think you could just memorize, because I mean, there's 5,000 questions, and they're going to, and I even told them when I took A+, I thought it was changing as I missed a question. Like if you missed a security question, they hit you with another one. It's like AI or something.
A+ does have an adaptive tech in it.
Yeah,
so,
that's a fact.
On one level.
It'll take you down that rabbit hole. That's correct.
Yeah, I don't think that IT fundamentals is that way. I could be wrong, but from my understanding, it's not. It's pulling 75 questions out of a big old bank, and
that's cool.
That's what we're seeing.
This was awesome. It was really awesome. This half hour answered every one of my questions.
Good. And I've recorded it. I'll send you a copy of the recording. And then if either one of you have any questions, or give us feedback too, right? I mean, this is something we're really dedicated. We're going to continue to improve it over the summer months, having some more analytic tools to help the teachers and students understand where they're hitting and missing. So we're getting. I'm
going to be part of that report because I'm a first-year instructor/teacher.
Awesome.
So I'm struggling through class, but I got a lot of motivation, and I keep them focused. I'm trying to.
Awesome. Okay. Appreciate it, guys.
When we stop recording, I want to say something. Stop.
Okay, let me stop the recording.